Kansas City or Denver? Which one actually gives you more for your money? Well, you might just be surprised, so you ought to stick around. What we're going to do in this video is we are going to check out the cost of living, housing prices, schools, weather, outdoor life, traffic, and culture. So by the end of this video, you'll know which one of these two incredible cities is right for you. Hey, if we haven't met before, my name is Chris Pucci with the Living in Kansas City real estate team, and we help people just like you make a seamless transition into the Kansas City metro. In addition, I post videos just like this, sharing everything Kansas City. So if you want to learn more about Kansas City, simply tap on the bell below to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are contemplating making a move to the Kansas City metro, please feel free to reach out, set up a time we can talk. Email me, text me, call me, or set up a Zoom call. Either way, I'd love to help you make that seamless, smooth move to Kansas City. Now, we're going to start with the big picture, and that's geography and vibe. Kansas City sits in the heart of the United States, straddling the Missouri-Kansas border, while Denver, it's known as the Mile High City. It's sitting exactly 1 mile above sea level, 5,280 feet. Now, KC is known for its blend of Midwestern friendliness, affordability, and a growing tech and healthcare economy. Now, it's got this small city feel and charm, but with big city convenience and amenities. Denver, on the other hand, offers a true mountain lifestyle vibe. Outdoor living, skiing and hiking, all within a short drive, but that lifestyle comes with a price tag, and we're going to talk about that soon. What we want to talk about right now, though, is housing and real estate. So now let's direct our focus to one of the bigger decision-making factors, and that happens to be real estate and housing. Now, Kansas City in 2025, the median home value was $360,000. Having said that, though, Johnson County, Kansas, which is the home of most of Kansas City's most affluent and upscale suburban neighborhoods, that value is $475,000. Now, in Denver, the median home value is $640,000, and in more popular areas like Highland Ranch and Parker, that figure is actually more like $700,000 to $800,000 plus for newer single-family homes. So you're looking at nearly twice as much for a home in Denver as you're going to find in the Kansas City metro. And it's not just the purchase price. The average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment in Kansas City is approximately $1,400 as opposed to $2,300 for the same size unit in Denver. So here's the bottom line. In Kansas City, you are going to get more square footage, bigger yards, and newer homes for a lot less money, which is ideal for families or people who work remotely who do not need the view of a mountain out of their backyard every day of the year. So we've talked about pricing of homes. Now let's talk about the actual cost of living between the two cities. And the fact is this: Kansas City's overall cost of living is about 25 to 30% less than it is Denver across almost all categories. For instance, housing, Kansas City is about 40 to 45% cheaper. Utilities, 10 to 15% cheaper. Groceries and dining, 15% cheaper. Transportation is 20% cheaper. Gas in Kansas City is $2.70 a gallon, while in Denver it's approximately $3.70 a gallon. And healthcare, 10% lower than it is in Denver. Now, as far as property taxes go, the property tax rates for, say, Kansas and Missouri are anywhere from 1.25 to 1.4, while Denver's is very low, 0.5 to 0.6. However, because the home prices in Denver are so much more than for the same size house in Kansas City, any benefit you would have received has been erased by the fact that you've got this larger value that you're basing the taxes on. If you're relocating from, a high-cost state like California or Washington, both these cities are going to seem very affordable. The bottom line is, though, Kansas City, because its lower cost of living, is going to allow that money to stretch much further. In fact, you can typically buy twice as much house for the same monthly payment that you are making in Washington or California. And because the cost of living in Kansas City is so much cheaper, the rest of your hard-earned money is going to go much further as well. So now let's talk a little bit about the job market and the economy of both Denver and Kansas City. Denver's economy is strong and it's diverse. It has aerospace, energy, finance, and tech, all of which are really the major components that's driving Denver's economy. Major employers include Lockheed Martin, the Ball Corporation, Charles Schwab, UC Health, as well as Google. Now, Kansas City's economy, it is also rapidly developing. Here you're going to find companies such as Amazon, Honeywell, Hallmark, Cerner/Oracle, Garmin, and T-Mobile. And recently, we've had a number of major companies move into the Kansas City area, including Eastern Airlines, who is moving their corporate headquarters here. We have Fiserv, which is opening up a tech hub here, which will, when it's fully operational, will employ over 2,000 people. And then we also have Panasonic, who's developing a $4 billion battery plant that, when it's fully operational, will employ between 4,000 to 8,000 people. Now, when it comes to income, though, Denver's median household income is at approximately $89,000 compared to Kansas City's, which is $81,000. However, when you take into consideration the cost of living, Kansas City's households typically come ahead financially. Because you got to remember now, Kansas City's cost of living is 25 to 30% lower than Denver's. So let's put it another way. If you were to earn $80,000 here in Kansas City, in order to have the exact same lifestyle in Denver, you would have to make $104,000. Also, as more companies adopt remote work, Kansas City's affordability makes it a magnet for professionals who are looking to escape high-cost metros. So we've talked about housing, we've talked about the job market, and we've talked about the economy. So what we're going to do now, though, is we're going to talk about the one factor. It's probably the most single important factor when someone's making a decision as where to locate, and that has to do with education. Now, the school districts in Kansas City offer a completely different experience than the school districts in Denver. And that's what really gives Kansas City a significant edge. Because here in Kansas City, particularly in Johnson County, Kansas, and the suburbs like Lee Summit, Liberty, and Missouri, they put a premium on education. You're going to have plenty of options from public schools to private schools. And you're going to find here some of the top-ranked school districts, not only in the metro, but in the Midwest. Now, the Denver education system is facing some serious challenges, such as overcrowding, massive classroom sizes, new-to-country families. For example, from July 1st, 2023 through January 2024, it welcomed over 3,221 new-to-country families. In addition to that, the school is facing achievement gaps, and that's just the beginning. Denver's cost of living and housing prices make it difficult for teachers to live in the district that they teach in. So therefore, the district has a difficult time keeping qualified teachers, and that results into a constant revolving door, which destroys consistency as well as quality. So now let's talk a little bit, though, about the Kansas City schools and what makes it so great. Kansas City is home to some incredible school districts, and it's one of the main reasons why people flock to the Kansas City area. Here you've got the Blue Valley School District, the Park Hill School District, the Lee Summit School District, all constantly ranked among the top in the Midwest, all receiving at least an A, if not an A+ rating. Now, in Johnson County, you have 4 public school districts. You've got Olathe, DeSoto, Shawnee, and Blue Valley. All are rated A or better. But let's focus on the Blue Valley School District, for instance. This is the #1 school district not only in the metro but in the state of Kansas. It consists of 5 high schools: Blue Valley North, Blue Valley West, Blue Valley Northwest, and Blue Valley Southwest. All five of these schools are A-rated or higher, and they are known for their academics, their STEM program, athletics, as well as their college prep program. Now, niche.com gives Blue Valley School District an A-plus rating. They're A-plus in academics, teachers, clubs and activities, as well as college prep programs. I mean, really, what else do you want from a school district? Well, they do have a student-teacher ratio of 13-1 compared to 17-1 in Denver. So, bottom line is, you're going to get a lot more personal attention here in the Blue Valley School District than you will achieve in the city of Denver. On the Missouri side, you have the Lee Summit R7 School District. It's rated A by niche.com, and it's also considered the 6th best school district in the state of Missouri out of 453 districts. In addition, the student-teacher ratio is 15-1, and the graduation rate exceeds 93%. In addition to these incredible public schools, you also have access to some top-notch private schools. So for instance, for K through 12, you've got Barstow, Pembroke, St. Thomas High School, as well as Bishop Miets. In addition to that, you have St. Teresa's High School, which is an all-girls high school, and then you have Rockers High School, which is an all-male Jesuit high school. So for families, Kansas City often offers a better balance between affordability and quality of education. Another factor you should take into consideration when you're contemplating relocating is the weather. So what is the weather like between Kansas City and Denver? Well, oddly enough, they are somewhat similar. Both what I would call sunny climates. Kansas City averages over 215 sunny days a year, which is higher than the average for the United States, while Denver has an incredible 300 days of sunshine per year. Now, Kansas City is going to give you 4 distinct seasons: a mild spring, a hot summer, crisp falls, and chilly winters with sometimes a little bit of snow. In fact, Kansas City averages about 18 inches of snow a year, usually occurring between the months of December and February. And in terms of what the lows are, the lows in the winter are anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees, and the highs in the summer are anywhere from 85 to 95 degrees. Plus, the summers sometimes can be a little humid here in Kansas City. Denver, well, their weather is pretty unpredictable. You literally can get 1 or 2 feet of snow in the morning, and by the afternoon you can be out hiking in a t-shirt. In fact, Denver averages 55 inches of snow, but it varies widely from year to year. And now most of their snowfall is going to occur between the months of March and April. Temperatures, they're similar to Kansas City. Their lows in the winter, 0 to 10 degrees. In the summer, they're more like 90 to 100. So a little bit cooler than Kansas City's winter temperatures and a little bit higher than Kansas City's summer temperatures. And like Kansas City though, Denver is also subject to weather extremes. They've got the Chinook winds, ice storms, an occasional tornado, and frequent thunderstorms and hail. So in fact, Denver is part of what they call Hail Alley. So here's the bottom line. If you love sunshine and mountain air, Denver's the pick. If you prefer mild winters and greener landscapes, then Kansas City is your pick. So now we've talked about the weather, let's talk about how do you navigate both Kansas City and Denver. What's the commute like? Well, Kansas City has one of the shortest commuting times of most major metropolitan areas, about 23 minutes. Now, congestion is relatively low here in Kansas City, and Kansas City drivers only spend about 14% of their travel time in traffic delays, and that's per TomTom Traffic Index. So this indicates there's fewer stop-and-go traffic jams compared with many other major metros. Think LA. Public transit in Kansas City is available. It's not very robust, so car is the main mode of transportation. Now let's talk about Denver. Denver's average commute time is closer to 30 to 33 minutes. However, congestion is continuing to rise. For example, a report recently came out that showed commuters in the Denver metro spent about 43 to 44 hours stuck in traffic in 2024. And congestion can be really rough, especially along I-25 and around the tech center areas of Lone Tree and Centennial. Now, because of the geography of Denver, the mountains, and the terrain. Commuter flows can be more complicated. For example, major highway checkpoints like Interstate 70 heading into the mountains and weather events can really disrupt traffic. Now, Denver does have some transit options such as light rail and bus, but like Kansas City, much of the area remains car dependent. In fact, residents living farther out in the suburbs or the exurbs may face longer commutes. Some users report 45 minutes to an hour and a half depending on where you live. If you're relocating for work and you value your time in the car, Kansas City is going to give you the edge. Denver has some upside, but it will take some serious planning to determine what your commute time will actually be like. So at this point, you might still be trying to determine which is a better fit, Kansas City or is it Denver? So to help you gain some more clarity, let's talk a little bit about lifestyle, dining, and entertainment. So Kansas City, it offers a Midwestern big city feel with lower density than most major metros. The neighborhoods, they feel accessible. Traffic is light and moderate, and the pace can feel more relaxed. There's a strong emphasis on community and history, such as jazz and barbecue, as well as a nice blend of urban and suburban living. And because housing and the cost of living are more moderate than many of the Western metros, many residents find the lifestyle trade-offs are worth it. Larger homes, shorter commutes, and less stress. Denver, on the other hand, leans into the outdoor lifestyle. Here, plus the bonus of easy access to the mountains. And you've got trendy urban neighborhoods, craft breweries, food halls, and a strong influx of new residents. Now, their growth feels more dynamic and brisk, and with the bonus of easy access to nature such as hiking, skiing, and biking, which influences lifestyle expectations. But all of that growth means higher cost of living and more competition for housing. Now, as far as dining goes, Kansas City is famous for its barbecue heritage as well as classic steakhouses. But their dining scene is actually becoming more diverse and growing with casual upscale eateries, brunch spots, and a vast number of ethnic cuisines. Also popular are dining and entertainment combos, places where you can enjoy music while eating, such as the Majestic Restaurant, which blends jazz with dining in a historic downtown building. Now, Denver, their food scene is increasingly sophisticated. It has several restaurants that are recognized in the Michelin Guide. Now, here you're going to find unique dining experiences such as interactive meals, you've got supper clubs, as well as high-end tasting menus. Also popular, though, are food halls, beer craft brew cultures, rooftop bars, and a mixture of casual and upscale restaurants. So with regards to nightlife and entertainment, Kansas City has a rich musical heritage. Think the blues and jazz, as well as entertainment zones like the Kansas City Power and Light that combines dining, bars, and live music. In addition, we have probably one of the largest block parties at the Crossroads, where they open up all the art galleries and studios for free. There are food trucks as well as restaurants and all types of other activities that take place. And in addition to all of that, though, there's a really nice mixture of mid-price and upscale restaurants. So there's something for everyone despite what your entertainment and nightlife budget might look like. Denver, on the other hand, has a growing nightlife and we'll call it entertainment ecosystem. It consists of craft breweries, live music venues, as well as supper clubs. Now, neighborhoods like the River North Art District are hotspots for food, nightlife, and the art scene. Denver's night out vibes skew slightly more toward trendy and experimental. You got the breweries, the cocktail bars, and the supper clubs, with the backdrop of mountain city living. So which one is better? Well, that's going to depend on what you're looking for in a lifestyle. The last two things I want to briefly touch on has to do with sports as well as culture. Now, both cities have thriving art scenes. Denver has the Art Museum and the Performing Arts Complex. Kansas City counters with the Kauffman Center for Performing Arts, the Crossroads District, as well as a nationally and internationally recognized Nelson Atkins Art Museum. Now, as far as sports, Kansas City sports scenes is electric. You've got Chiefs Kingdom with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift. You've got the Royals, two-time World Series champions. And if you're into soccer, Kansas City has two soccer teams. The Kansas City Sporting, which is the men's, Kansas City Current, which is the women's. And we're also host to the annual Big 12 College Basketball Tournament, which is held every spring. And we also have the Kansas City Speedway, which is an annual NASCAR stop for you motorheads. Now, Denver, it brings a full lineup of professional teams. You've got the NFL Broncos, who are surging under their new coach, Sean Payton. You got the NBA Nuggets, the NHL Avalanche. They have the NBL Rockies and the MLS Rapids. Plus, some of the best outdoor recreation in the country. And speaking of outdoor recreation, Denver is indeed the gateway to the Rockies. You've got hiking, skiing, rafting, and mountain biking, all within about 2 hours. That's a major lifestyle perk that is really hard to compete with. Kansas City does hold its own. They've got multiple beautiful large lakes, public lakes. They've got golf courses, parks, and trails, including the Katy Trail, which is ideal for biking and hiking. Look, you may not get the mountains, but you're going to get more green space, less congestion, and a lower cost of entry to enjoy outdoor living. Which is it, Kansas City or Denver? Which is it going to be? Well, here's a breakdown. Choose Kansas City if you want affordable housing and lower costs, short commutes and family-friendly suburbs, top-rated schools, and a close-knit Midwestern feel with big city amenities. Choose Denver if you want outdoor lifestyle and mountain access, a younger, more transient population, and a drier, sunnier climate. Here's the thing. Both cities are really amazing. It's really just going to depend on your lifestyle, your budget, and your career goals. For most families, though, and remote workers, Kansas City simply delivers more value without sacrificing culture, sports, or opportunity. Look, if you want to learn more about Kansas City and you have any questions, please feel free to set up a time and we can chat. I'll answer any questions you have. Simply set up a time by you can call me, text me, email me, or set up a Zoom call. Oh, and do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. A couple more things. As you know, if you've watched my videos before, you know in addition to being a realtor, I'm also a mortgage banker. I can help you answer any questions that you have with regards to the financing side, because if you're like most people, you're probably going to need a loan to perfect your transaction. Most people find that doing it this way makes it easier to communicate and it's a lot less stressful. Finally, if you're contemplating making a move, but it's not to Denver, it's not to Kansas City, and you need to be hooked up with a good realtor, I can refer you to somebody who knows the market and would be an ideal fit for you. So all that being said, thank you for watching the video, and until then, I do look forward to showing you around the Kansas City market.